Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. This is your host, Jim Masters. Great to have you with us. Watching on a Saturday afternoon, broadcasting from the United States of America. We are here in the greater New York area between New York and Boston. And it's great to have you with us all around the world. Live. Some of you may be watching this in the archives later at Jim Masters TV. So if you're watching this later, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show live. If this is your first time checking out our fun show, it's a really cool place with great vibes, positivity, and it's an entertainment lifestyle talk show series, sort of extends from my professional work as a television and radio host, presenter, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, narrator, and so much more. We created this show 26 weeks ago, some 180 episodes day after day. Our regularly scheduled time is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, live on YouTube at Jim Masters TV as well. And sometimes we also do it on Facebook at Jim Masters TV. We're exclusively on our YouTube channel right now at Jim Masters TV. So call your friends and your family and your neighbors and your loved ones, colleagues, and say, hey, turn on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. We've got an amazing show in store for you this Saturday. Really, really cool guest, Oscar Blue, who's a brilliant singer, songwriter, musician. He is live in Dublin, Ireland right now. He's going to perform live for us as well. We've got some cool music videos, some great chat, and some good old-fashioned Irish crack, which I know a lot of you love. Irish on my father's mother's side, so got the Irish connection. We've had a lot of Irish artists on our show of late too. The gang from Celtic Thunder and Celtic Woman, and of course we have Darren Holden coming up. Phil Coulter is next weekend here on our show, and so many others. And it's so great to have you with us as well. And let's welcome our audience from around the world. We have an international audience of viewers who join us. Again, normally we're on 7 p.m. Eastern, but we wanted to adjust the time so our European audience and Asian audience and other areas can join us earlier. Plus, where Oscar Blue is, Oscar is in Dublin, Ireland right now. So it's already 8 o'clock at night for him, while it's 3 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast of the United States, and noon for our friends out on the West Coast. So lots of lovities here. This is the land of lovities, Lovity Hole as we call it. Positivity, inspiration, good entertainment, great conversation, inspiring commentary, lots of cool things that happen. And every day is something different on this show. Mary Bishop says, hello, Jim, Oscar Blue, and lovities. Good to see Mary in Florida. From South America and Brazil, Carla is watching us. Happy Saturday afternoon, Jim and the gang. Shout out from South America. Good to see you, Carla, one of our faithful viewers and lovities all the time here on the Jim Masters Show. Also from Europe, thank you, Willie. Appreciate the good wishes, and time to unite and heal, of course, as well, all around the world. Willie is watching in Holland, in the Netherlands. And she's very happy because it's a little bit earlier, because when we normally do our show at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, it's like 1 a.m. for her in Holland, but she still watches our show. And for Juanita in Brazil and South Africa, it's 1 a.m. for her, and she still watches. Fortnite Gaming is here. Good to see you, Fortnite Gaming. Raphael, hello to you. Nice to have you with us on the Jim Masters Show live. We've got a cool guest, a cool show. We've got a fun afternoon together, folks, and thanks for joining us all over the world. Ann Wozniak is here. Hi, Jim and everyone. And our guest, Oscar Blue, has performed in other parts of the world, not just in Ireland. He's been here in the States. He's performed in New York and other areas. Good to see you, Ann. And Sherry Schoenlein is here. Hello, Jim and Lovities. Great to see you as well. And Juanita is here. Hello, Jim and everyone. Now, I think you said, Juanita, for you, it's like 10 p.m. in South Africa right now, which is kind of cool, isn't it? Because normally our show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern here, so it's like 1 a.m. or so for you there in South Africa. Welcome. Good to have you with us, Juanita. And in Canada, Merlin is here. Hi, Jim and Lovities. Looking forward to seeing Oscar. Oscar's here. He's all excited. He's going to be performing. He's got his guitar ready to go. He's really popular, not just in Ireland, but his Q levels are through the roof. He's got so much music. He's pumped out a lot of music, and he's still going to college too. he's wrapping up his college days. So he's going to school studying Spanish and sociology while he's also a performer, which is something really cool. Kathy Short, happy Saturday afternoon from sunny Cleveland, Ohio. Good to see you, Kathy. Bernadette, hello, Jim and the Lovedies, friends and newcomers. Good to see you, Bernadette. We love having you here on the show. Marilyn Hammond from wonderful Wichita, Kansas says, hi, Jim and all our Lovedies. Good to see you, Marilyn. Christine Clifton from North Carolina, USA. Happy Saturday, Jim and Lovedies. Welcome, Irish singer-songwriter Oscar Blue to the show today. Great music and conversation ahead. You know it. Sherry says, welcome, Oscar to Lovedy Hall. We're so excited to meet you. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, hi, Jim. Hi, all. Hope you're having a good day. You too as well, Kathleen. Bernadette, Irish are a talented lot. I would agree. We're also quick-witted. We like humor. As you can see, some of my humor on the show, we think fast with our humor because we tend to be observers of life. Anne says, welcome, Oscar. Really enjoying listening to music. I know I posted one of his videos on our Facebook page, Jim Master TV, to give you a little sample of his cool sound. And I know a lot of you really posted some great comments. Love spending time in Dublin. Looking forward to being able to return someday soon as well. Hearts from Merlin too, and much, much more. Juanita, yes, since the clocks went back as well. Good to see you. 22 now, perfect time in South Africa. Popping in, excellent. Willie's toasting us as well. And yes, we do, Jim, 100%. Well, let me tell you, it's good to see all of you. For those of you who are going to be joining us later in the show or watching this in the archives, we are live, broadcasting live right now on the Jim Master Show Live. I want to tell you about our really cool guest. I know you guys love food, so there's a good shot, but we'll tell you about that one in just a minute. I know the viewers of the show love when we talk about food, and obviously you can see he's a foodie, but there is something tied with that picture, which is one of his singles. We'll tell you about that. Oscar Blue is here on the show, live and direct from Dublin, Ireland, and he's really cool. And let me tell you a little bit about him. He's the pop singer. He gets into folk. From the humble lakelands of Ireland comes the mindful songwriting of Oscar Blue, influenced at a formative age by passion, integrity, and spirit of Irish artists such as Luca Bloom and the modern acoustic pop sound of acts such as Vance Joy. Oscar Blue boasts songwriting ability far beyond his mere 21 or so years. And he began writing music at the age of 13. That's right. And he's been sharing his music with a worldwide audience. And we're so happy that he's doing that because his music is really cool. And we've got a lot of music to share with you here on the show. And as I mentioned, he is live and direct from Dublin, Ireland. So join me in welcoming our very special guest, Oscar Blue, to the Jim Master Show Live. Oscar, welcome to the show. It's awesome to have you with us. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. That was a great introduction. It's great to see so many positive people here in the comments. I've been reading them for the last few minutes. Seems like a great bunch, so I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
Oh, our pleasure, Oscar. And what's really cool is you're so dedicated to school and to your performance. You're actually there on campus at the university, right? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm coming to you live from my dorm in Trinity College, Dublin. And I've got 4 or 5 other guys here under strict instruction to stay quiet for the night while I'm on this live stream. So hopefully they'll oblige.
Yeah, I was going to say, if not, they should, like I said, one should grab a tambourine or something, at least help out. But I mean, but to keep 5 guys under control at a college dorm, that you've got power. Maybe you should run for political office.
Maybe.
That's it. Well, Kathy Short says, welcome, Oscar, to the land of lovedies. I was telling you, that's a word that I stumbled on when I was saying the show is about light, love, and levity, humor, levity. And I sort of screwed up and I said lovety, and then everybody fell in love with that word. So the viewers call themselves lovedies, and they call me Mr. Lovety. And then they welcome all the guests we have from around the world as a lovety. So you're going to be crowned a lovety on our show by all these fabulous people here, like right. Kathleen in New York City and Kathy Short. Welcome, Oscar, and hello to the dorm mates. So now they got some levity too now.
Yeah, who knows? They might be watching in the kitchen or something. I'm not sure. So
That's it. Yeah,
maybe saying hello.
they're making sandwiches while they watch, right? Welcome to you, Oscar. Great talent. Yeah, we posted some of the video material on our Facebook page, promoting that we were going to be doing this on our YouTube channel, and people were checking you out, and they love it. And Bernadette says that, and Juanita, who's watching right now live in South Africa, welcome to the show, Oscar, as well. Willie, who's just over the channel from you guys in the Netherlands there. Welcome. And D Winner is Oscar Blue. She says that with her Dutch accent in Holland. So how have you been? Obviously you're balancing school with performance. And of course we have this whole COVID situation. And right now Ireland is in I think it's level 5 of the lockdown sort of situation where you have to just stay put and do what you have to do. Have you still been moving along with music and everything while balancing out your, college studies as well, Oscar?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing good. First of all, thank you for asking. It's it's a strange time for sure for everybody all over the world. So we've been in level 5 lockdown now, which is like the most intense lockdown in Ireland for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So yeah, it's been fine. I mean, I'm in my final year of college, as you mentioned, so it gives me an excuse to maybe do some more study for sure.
Right.
One more time on the desk. I was really lucky as well in that I got a good bit of music recording done over the summer when the lockdown was kind of less intense for a while. And so I've been able to kind of sit on that. I've got some new music coming in the new year. So my focus has shifted to kind of, getting ready for that sort of stuff, a lot of kind of admin and press release stuff and the boring side of things, but it's all got to be done. So it was good timing that I'm in lockdown now.
All the business side that has the marketing and the branding and all those things that come along with it all as well. I mentioned early on, Oscar, that you started songwriting at age 13. What was sort of the inspiration? I mean, do you have a family of singers and musicians? And I know a lot of people, especially in Ireland, are surrounded by a lot of music. There's a lot of sessions. There's just a lot of, if they don't play themselves, they have an uncle or somebody that plays or is involved in music. How about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I certainly come from a family that loves music and an artistic family. My sister was I've got an older sister who I would say inspired me to start performing. She was in some musicals and stuff even as a kid, a few years ahead of me. And then I thought, I want to do that. It looks like fun. So that's kind of where I first started performing, was kind of in musicals and stuff like that. And then I guess my dad's a huge music fan and he plays guitar and sings a little bit, and as does my mom. So my dad used to always say to me, the best artists write their own music. So that seed was kind of planted in my head from a young age. And I always wanted to try and write my own stuff. And that's kind of where it came from. Yeah.
What was the music growing up that influenced you first? Some of the sounds that you heard that you really took to and really liked, Oscar?
I think the one that stands out straight away would be U2. My dad was a huge U2 fan, and I can still remember watching U2 DVDs of their concerts. They had a really historic concert here in Slane Castle, which was for I'd say close to 100,000 people. And I remember being mesmerized by that as a kid, and knowing they were Irish was a cool thing. And then as I got a little bit older and the internet kind of came around, there was a lot of other kind of independent singer-songwriter musicians that started out maybe busking on the streets here in Dublin, or that started from having a YouTube channel and posting content online. And I kind of thought, whoa, these guys seem like normal guys. I mean, one band that comes to mind is Hudson Taylor, a great Irish kind of indie folk act. And I used to watch them busking on the streets and watch them post on YouTube, and gradually develop into actually having a full-on career as they got older. So I think looking at acts like them and a lot of other Irish bands that have made it over the last, 10 years or so, I kind of thought, if they've gone from being, regular Joe Soaps that have a similar background to me, why can't I do it? So a lot of Irish bands I listen to. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so then what came first for you? The singing, the songwriting, the learning instruments? What was first, for you, Oscar?
Yeah, I think first for me was probably the singing. There's a funny story actually that they say the day I was born in the hospital ward that they knew I had a good voice straight away because I was so loud and clear in my singing. But
That's quite a scream that kid has.
yeah, exactly. I think it was my uncle that made that observation first, but it was literally a couple hours after I was born. And I guess, yeah, the singing, I was just always kind of Jack the lad trying to impress and put on a show. And so I used to sing a lot as a kid. And then my parents were really keen on me learning the piano as a child. And originally I hated it because I was learning like a lot of classical music and stuff.
Right.
So the piano was always like a bit of a trek. I found it hard work. But then when I was 11 or 12, I started guitar and fell in love instantly. So then I realized, oh my God, I can play this chord. And then at that stage, even just from singing, I think as like a 10, 11-year-old, I'd started writing poems and lyrics with my older sister because my dad encouraged us, if you want to be a musician, you should write your own stuff. So I realized then when I learned guitar, oh my God, I can strum this chord and sing that line I wrote in the same tune. And it was like, then I could change to this chord. Oh my God,
Right.
I've got a verse. Now I can, yeah. And that's how it started.
Wow. So then, as far as the performance end of it, when did you start saying, okay, not only am I liking, music itself and I'm loving the guitar and I'm loving the expression and all, when did you say, you know what, I think I might actually turn this into a career. I might actually run with this and make music and actually become an artist, an entertainer, a performer. When did that start to happen for you? And were there others who sort of influenced you and inspired you to do that? Or is it something that you yourself in your heart said, I really enjoy this. I want to do this and I want to share it with everybody?
Sure. Excuse me. I think that it, I've been pursuing it kind of seriously from quite a young age, which is unusual. Well, I don't know if it is, but I guess for me it was like a lot of these YouTubers that were posting covers. There's some ones even in the States that do called Tyler Ward from Denver, who's a great kind of YouTube musician. Um, he had been posting a lot of covers. This was also in the era of like Justin Bieber being discovered through YouTube, posting on YouTube. And then there was a few kind of similar teenage singer-songwriter style guys like Austin Mahone and people like
Yeah.
that came up behind Justin Bieber. And One Direction were another huge kind of teenage boy band over here closer to Europe that were making it. And I just kind of thought, well, you can actually make it at this age. So originally when I started a YouTube channel when I got into kind of secondary school when I was 13 or 14, and I started covering a lot of like Justin Bieber songs and One Direction and stuff like that. Um, and it was kind of at the time, it was like, I want to go viral. I want to make it soon as possible. You know what I mean?
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And then as I got a little bit older, there was more kind of older artists, kind of more folk music and stuff like that were starting to influence me. Um, People that were writing their own stuff as opposed to some of these YouTubers like Tyler Ward who did a lot of covers. I think another big person was Ed Sheeran. Actually, at the time, was really blowing up, and he was quite young when he made it. And his kind of rise from being a dude that was sofa surfing, playing over 300 gigs a year, to someone that was headlining arenas was really well documented. So I think as a young teenager, I just figured, why not chase this? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So when you decided to chase it, was the family supportive and friends supportive of saying, you know what, you are really good at this. And if this is, in your soul, Oscar, go with it. And we're here to support you and we'll try to help you make it happen. What was that like as far as the people around you supporting this dream that was developing for you?
Mm-hmm. It was great. I mean, I can really have no complaints. I've got two really, really supportive parents and two really supportive sisters. I think the biggest thing, I was so nervous starting that YouTube channel when I was like 13 or 14 because I'd never really put myself out there. Um, And it's that thing of the internet. What are people going to say? Are other kids at school going to see it and, bully me or whatever, or
Right.
make
Make
fun
fun
of
of
me?
it or
So I guess, um, yeah, sorry, I see a text from my dad coming through here. I got to turn my phone upside down. He's telling me to mention busking too, because that was a big part of it.
what's your dad's first name?
His first name is Declan.
Declan, good to see you and welcome. You got a cool kid here.
um, and now I've gotten sidetracked. Nice one, Dad. I'm trying to think of what exactly your question was.
Oh, you were talking about, well, it was perfect that he texted when he did, because we were talking about the support of family and friends
Yeah,
with your idea of taking this on as your dream. And
sure.
then he perfectly timed that to
Yeah,
chime in. See, he says, you want to hear
exactly.
support? Here's my support. I'm texting you.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, a great example is even so. My dad used to take me up from. I'm from the west of Ireland in County Clare, but he used to drive me up every month or so, every couple of months to play in Dublin, on the streets. So I go busking on Grafton Street here, which is a really famous street for street performance, and that was something that really influenced me at a young age, in terms of growing kind of thick skin and
Yeah. Yeah.
getting over that feeling of performing in front of people and those nerves.
Mhm.
Because you meet people of all walks of life. You get some crazy people that walk past and shout at you or say things, and you get some really nice people. So you just kind of, yeah, it helped me to mature as a performer, definitely, and yeah, grow some thick skin.
You learn to thick
um
skin and take everything with a grain of salt and not always take it all to heart. Right, exactly. And actually, that's really cool that you developed that early, because there's a lot of people in, whether they're performers or any aspect of life, who sort of never really develop that. And instead they respond, or they fire off, or they say things that they wish they didn't say, whatever, in response, because they never felt confident inside. So to have built this confidence early on is
mhm.
awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's really stood to me now, in the sense that since I've kind of started pursuing, kind of releasing my original music, and I let the whole YouTube channel kind of decline in my later teenage years. It almost has given me a head start. I kind of had a good sense of who I was, and how to navigate the industry, and how to navigate putting myself out there in front of people. So it's been really helpful, and I think that's probably why, I just turned 22, but I've been doing this for a couple of years, and it all kind of has moved fairly quickly since I started releasing my original music. Um, but I think kind of having that foundation of knowing what I'm all about, and not getting caught up in kind of the just the initial kind of nerves and
Yeah.
stuff. Kind of sure of what I wanted to do when I started releasing my music.
And getting too caught up on all like the celebrity part of it all, because a lot of people sometimes they focus just, we've talked about that a lot on this show with a lot of different people, especially artists. Some people get so caught up on just the fame and wanting to be famous that they lose sight of why they're doing what they do, which is for the love of it. And if you love something and you just continue to get better and better at it, the audience follows, the audience senses the authenticity, and that you're real and you're doing it from, a real authentic place.
Hmm.
And that the music's authentic and your performance is authentic, and people really, they're looking for that. They're craving a lot of that these days, the authenticity. So the
Yeah.
fact that you're doing it because it's out of the love of what you do, all the rest sort of follows, as opposed to trying to chase fame first, which can be take forever, and then you have it and you can lose it, or it doesn't amount to what you thought it was. You'll always have this opportunity to say, you know what, I did it because I love it. All
Mhm.
the extra stuff was sort of the icing on the cake, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really important thing to kind of remind yourself of. I mean, whenever something good happens in kind of my development, I always, or bad, if I'm finding things difficult, or like I've plateaued or something, I always remember, like, 13-year-old me would be so happy just to have gotten to play on X, Y, or Z stage. So it's like, it's everything is a bonus, really. Once you're doing what you love and people are listening and enjoying it, I think that's the most beautiful thing, is sharing what you do with however many people wanna hear it.
Exactly right. When you look at, this progression of your journey, what would you say Oscar, would be one of those first early breaks for you where
Mhm.
this happened, either this performance or this song you wrote or this opportunity, this gig, whatever it is, that sort of really launched things to other levels forward for you. Do you remember that time or that thing that happened?
Well, it's funny because I feel like I've almost lived two musical journeys already because I had this whole YouTube thing throughout my teenage years. And if I was referring to that, like there were things that happened that at the time were huge for me that really spurred me on and made me believe that I can do this with my life. So, for example, when I was 14, there was a kind of acoustic hip hop band from Dublin called the Original Rude Boys, who were huge in Ireland at the time, and they were like one of my favorite bands. And they had come down to the nearest city to where I live in the west, Limerick, and they were playing like a matinee all ages show for teenagers, and I emailed them just chancing my arm asking if I could open for them, and they got back and said yeah. And I was freaking out because at the time
Mm.
you guys were my favorite band, and I got to go and meet them and perform, and they brought me on stage for their encore, and it was like as a 14-year-old it was just like I felt like I was on top of the world. So that was a huge moment because it also moved me from YouTuber to also performing live on a real stage,
Mm.
and artists, like to some extent, are getting a taste of that world. And then off the back of that, I got to open for other artists. So there'd be like a local music festival, and I would send the same sort of, charming 14-year-old email being like, please let me open for this act, it means so much to me. And a lot of the time it was amazing local promoters and stuff like that supported me and gave me these opportunities. So that was kind of it as a teenager. And then as Oscar Blue, I guess I started doing that when I was like 19 or 20. Um, and as I said, I'm 22 now, but it was probably like, I guess after I released my second single, Silhouettes, it got added to quite a big Spotify playlist. So Spotify have a playlist called Mellow Morning Playlist, and that has like 300,000 or 400,000 followers. And I basically, yeah, my tune got added to it, and I started getting streams from all over the world, thousands of streams, and that song has gone on to be streamed like 2 million times. So that was a really big moment for me, waking up that morning and seeing the song in that playlist and watching the streams just go up and up and up.
2 million times. Bravo. I mean, I mean, could you imagine, like, in some of the traditional ways over the years that artists had to try to connect and break out and, going through all the different record labels and all the different traditional ways of doing it? Sometimes it would take so much longer to be able to reach the masses, but to have had like 2 million streams, that must, for you, I mean, I would imagine it just, you're like, what the heck? Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Surprises.
It's a
Yeah.
crazy thing. Yeah, it's for sure something to be proud of. It's also I've got to be really aware that like in the current industry, it's not the be all and end all. You can get a lot of streams, and it's trying to convert these streams into active listeners and fans.
Right.
Um, but for sure, considering these were songs that I kind of made in a home recording setup with a friend of mine, um, that they've done so well in the Spotify playlist. It's really encouraging that if I continue to invest in my production and my sound, that hopefully it'll continue to grow, and that'll be amazing. So
The musicians that you have around you, are they friends? Where did you find the musicians who accompany you? They're, the sounds are really fantastic too.
yeah, oh, thank you. Well, this kind of links to what I was saying about how that whole kind of YouTube era led into what I'm doing now with my original music. And essentially, one of the acts I got to open for as a teenager was a dude called Ryan O'Shaughnessy. And he's another kind of folk singer. He started moving into some more kind of soulful stuff lately, but he was on Britain's Got Talent, and he got to the final. And off the back of that, he got a major record deal and toured around for a couple of years. And it was so crazy. This guy in Toronto was following me on YouTube, and he was working in the music industry, this guy, and he kind of informally was helping me and guiding me through the industry, giving me tips, looking out for me. And I just kept in touch with this guy, and Ryan O'Shaughnessy was going to Toronto to play a gig. And I told this dude in Toronto, John Delaney is his name, I told him, oh, you should check out this songwriter. He's playing in Toronto. He's Irish, Ryan O'Shaughnessy. So John went to the gig in Toronto, met Ryan. Ryan ended up staying in Canada for 8 months, needed a place to live, and they actually became housemates. So then off the back of that, when Ryan came back to Ireland, John was able to set me up for a support slot with him. So once again, I'm getting sidetracked as to what I talk about.
What Irish doesn't? I know that feeling. I get that.
I'm going crazy with lockdown. I need to talk.
You must, yeah. I mean, it's like because you can't go like 5 kilometers from your home and everything. But you were talking about some of the like what you consider like the big break, the opportunity, the thing that really started to get you noticed. And you had mentioned the 2 million with the Spotify, but realizing that now it's a matter of translating that into regular people who don't just check it out once, but who now really get a taste of what you do and want to come back for more. But that's been sort of happening, which is kind of cool too, right? They want, okay, when's the next song? When's the next thing that's happening? Which that's the beauty of some of that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's nice to see there's I've built up some genuine fans from different parts of the world through Spotify. So that's really cool. I see Bernadette is saying
Bernadette's following you too. Yeah, a lot of these folks are going to be absolutely. You're now a lovety. Christine Clifton in North Carolina says you are a lovety. So does Sherry. You're definitely a lovety now, Oscar. So cool stuff here coming from not just the States, but around the world.
Thank you guys for welcoming me to the family.
Absolutely. So that's cool stuff. I mean, so have there been any surprises? There anything along the way that surprised you, maybe in a good way, or anything about the industry or about just, how this all is? Like you said in the beginning, you sort of realized, that there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of luck and a lot of things that have to fall into place for a career to really take off and for people to follow and for, more opportunities to develop, right?
Sure. Well, there's certainly a lot of luck, and I feel super fortunate, as you were asking me about kind of the guys I have around me that help me make the music.
The musicians, yeah.
So off the back of that support slot with Ryan O'Shaughnessy that I mentioned, he was getting into production, so he helped me make my first 3 or 4 tracks, and we became good friends. And then he has introduced me to a lot of the guys that are in my band now. And because he was already so established in the scene here, he knew some really good people. So I kind of moved to Dublin as an 18-year-old and ended up, all the first guys that I ended up playing with and getting in my band were these incredible session musicians that were a few years older than me, but that had played with, really established acts. So I've been really lucky in that sense. But in terms of surprises, I don't know. I feel like it's surprises. It's like
the surprises are probably still coming every day.
yeah. Any surprises I've had so far have been good surprises. You know what I mean? So I'm always hoping to get a nice surprise. To wake up and see whatever, someone has left me a nice comment or the music's been shared. But yeah, so I mean, there's definitely been surprises. Getting added to that Spotify playlist was not something I was expecting. It was something you always kind of hope, I'd love it to happen. But so early on, like my second single, I didn't think, it certainly wasn't expecting it. So that was a really nice surprise. It was really heartening. Yeah, I remember one thing that stands out as well was after my first 3 or 4 singles came out, they were doing well off the back of these Spotify playlists. And a guy that books my gigs here in Dublin got in touch, and he got me my first festival slot at Independence, which is a big music camping festival in the south of Ireland. And I was expecting, when he got me the slot, that it would just be on some small stage. I was, I'm still a really small looking. he sent me the advance sheet, and it was the main stage. I was a few hours before Catfish and the Bottleman, so that was crazy. That was a surprise. Another thing I wasn't expecting, but I was really happy. I see Chloe Morgan saying first time. I think she's a fan that was at that gig, and that was the first time she actually heard me play. So
Awesome. And I think it's our first time on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV watching the show. So I tell you, sometimes those first times are the best. Welcome. And Kathleen Walker says, welcome to our lovely family as well. Kathleen is in New York City. And I'll let you read that one.
First time I seen Oscar was Indy 19 and fell in love. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a fun gig. It was a cool one to reach some new listeners, and thank you for sticking around and still tuning into stuff like this, because that was over a year ago now, and I haven't been able to gig given the current situation with the pandemic. So yeah,
absolutely. Well, I want to give people a taste of some of the music as well, and then we'll continue the conversation. You're going to perform live for us, my friend, and this one is Auburn. Tell us about that one. We have that video with the music. Sure. Tell us about the inspiration for that one and what the message is in that song. It's really a cool one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I guess the message is one that's in a lot of pop songs. It's a good old love song. It's, you know, it's quite self-explanatory. I moved up to Dublin as an 18-year-old, and I think the song will kind of tell the story. But there was a girl I met, and like a lot of guys with guitars do, I wrote a song about it. And it was kind of a daunting thing, because I kind of just wrote it for me. And then when I played it to my producer at the time, he was like, love that one. You got to release that one. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, all my friends are going to hear this, but
and they're going to know who you're talking about or whatever. Yeah.
Quite a descriptive song, but it all worked out. I mean, I don't regret releasing it. And yeah, people seem to enjoy it. So, I mean, it's part of the job. Yeah. And yeah.
Well, what it is probably too is why the producer had said to sure you got to release it is probably because a lot of people, even though it's about your experience, a lot of people probably can identify it with their own life and experiences that they've had. And sometimes that is the magic of music, where you can put something out that's inspiring you, but it's so like relatable across the board from like a human condition experience type thing, where other people connect with it and they're like, wow, it reminds me of my situation, or that gives me a good memory of this. Or so I think that's probably one of the things that's happened with Auburn is people chime into it and they feel it for themselves too, as much as it is a song that you've written about your life.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. I think it was a very honest song at the time, as much as, you know, the lyrics aren't necessarily the deepest thing in the world. It was honest, and it you know, it took a bit of guts to release it. And I think whatever about the story, maybe just being a very kind of stereotypical story, I think there's sometimes hopefully something that speaks louder than words, which is energy and emotion. And I would hope that maybe that's translated into the song too.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at that right now. This is Auburn, and this is Oscar Blue doing his thing. And then we'll be back. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're live worldwide on the Jim Masters Show Live. Here is Oscar Blue. Really nice, my friend. Really, really nice. You know, when you see that, and how does it make you feel? What runs through you when you see that? I mean, it was shot beautifully too. I mean, it looks like like $1 million Hollywood project. It was really beautiful because, being a TV person myself, I look at all those nuances and some of the camera angles and just the way everything was done as a video. And the video itself with the instrumentation from the musicians and your words and all the different locations and everything, it really tells a story. And really, you knocked it out of the park. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't watched that in a while. Because yeah, I've just been focusing on new stuff. I'm always looking ahead and new videos. So in terms of how it makes me feel, I mean, I was looking back on that actually there, and having not watched it in a while, I guess there was one part of me was like, yeah, we for the budget we had, which was zero,
Yeah.
one cameraman and some good locations. I think
Yeah.
we did a great job. There's also an element of me, I think, as you kind of grow older and stuff, there's always things you look back and you're like, oh, I would do that differently now, or like, I'm like, oh, cringe, or, but it's part of the process. So I tend to not regret any of it. But yeah, it was a cool time. It was an exciting time when I made that video. It was the third single. And the other couple beforehand were doing incursionally. So I remember when we decided to make that, the kind of philosophy was, let's not try and make a video that has like a really intricate storyline that's going to be difficult to achieve. Let's just, it's a story about being in Dublin, being a college student. A lot of the lyrics, were things that came into my head as I was, walking the streets, walking home from college, that sort of stuff. So we just, for me, I think instead of having fancy cameras and stuff like that, if you can access really cool locations to shoot, that tends to kind of to do the job. So I managed to get access to like a rooftop of an apartment building where a couple of my friends were living at the time. I had a friend from secondary school that he had just moved to Dublin too, and he was starting to get into film. I hadn't talked to him in like 2 or 3 years, but I just shot him a message, and he was really keen to get involved. So we just grabbed his camera, did a quick storyboard, and went for it.
Nice love coming in from everywhere, including Uptown Artist Group. Hi, Oscar. Hi, Jim. Glad to see you both. Good to see you, gang. Thanks for joining us as well. Nan Milligan saying you're off to a good start. She's watching on YouTube. We love it. And we encourage everybody who's watching on YouTube to subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV, because we do shows every single day of the week live. And there's 26 weeks of episodes, like 180 shows with amazing people, great guests, and all kinds of cool things we've done on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click that notification bell. So that way there you don't miss any of the content, because we've got a lot of content on there from this series and from other cool things as well. So you're off to a good start. Nan is watching. Good to see you, Nan. She's watching right there on YouTube. Mary Bishop, fantastic, Oscar. You are definitely going places. Declan and your mom must be so proud. Kathy Short says, love it. I enjoy hearing new music to her. So she's discovering you for the first time, my friend. Marilyn says, really nice. Enjoy your talent. Anne says, you very awesome, Oscar. She's got hearts, claps, and she's got the four-leaf clovers in there too.
Good to
and
see you.
Mr. Mem 11 is watching on YouTube. Good to see you. Welcome to the show, my friend. And you've got triple claps coming in there. Kathleen Walker in New York City, who also has Irish in her, living in Queens, New York. Really nice, she says. Juanita, South Africa. You've touched her in South Africa. Great song, lots of emotion. Almost takes me back to her 20s as well. Well done, Oscar, from Bernadette. Mary Bishop, you're such a nice, young, down-to-earth young man. That's a great compliment. Willie in Holland is giving you, she switched her Dutch flag to the Irish shamrock, and but also with the Dutch tulips in there as well. So lots of levity. And let's see more here. Bernadette says, Oscar has a long career ahead. Absolutely. Mary Bishop, claps and hearts. Sherry says, what a wonderful, unique sound you have, Oscar. That was an amazing song. And you really do. You do have a unique sound to your voice and the way you interpret. Did you have lots of vocal training, and are you self-taught with a guitar and with singing? Tell us about some of the training, if any, or is this just a natural born talent for you?
So, like everything, it takes hard work and practice. Luckily for
Yeah.
me, a lot of it didn't feel like hard work or practice because I loved it so much. But so I got guitar lessons at 10 or 11 years old. I did a couple of years of that, and I just got the basics. So, and then once I could kind of string a few chord sequences together, I kind of stopped going to the lessons and just kept practicing myself and learning more and more songs. And over the years, I guess my guitar skills have just developed a little bit, and I have more control over the instrument, and that's kind of it. I could kind of anytime I want to progress now or learn something new, I can generally teach it to myself. And then in terms of my singing voice, I did in my later teenage years get some lessons a few times. I had a couple of issues as well with just singing the wrong way and overdoing it when I was recording, and I got like laryngitis in the winter and had a
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah.
weeks to push through it, and as a result kind of knocked myself back vocally for a while. So I have gotten lessons about singing with the correct technique and that sort of stuff.
Breathing from the diaphragm. There's all these, right? I know this as using my voice on the air. There's certain things that you can do to harm your voice, and there's certain things you can do to help your voice too. And what are some of the things you do to take care of your voice? Do you do, or before you're about to perform a gig or go into the studio, is there any vocal training or any practice or things that you do? Like some people do tea and honey, or they'll stay away from milk, dairy, because it creates phlegm. There's certain, or they'll go la 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 la, or there's a million things they do to get ready. What do you do to prepare your voice?
Sure. Those kind of stereotypical things for sure. I mean, like a hot drink with some honey and ginger goes a long way. That's something when I'm in the studio about to do like a vocal take, I'll always drink one. Staying away from dairy for sure helps, especially in the winter and stuff when you can kind of get colds and stuff like that. So there are two things, and then it's kind of a lot of it, yeah, is about breathing. I mean, my vocal coach said to me recently, you can go on stage and scream for 2 hours, and if you're breathing from the right place, you won't damage your voice. So it's so underestimated, the power of breathing into your belly as opposed to your chest. Is kind of the biggest thing. So before I perform, I would spend 10 or 15 minutes just doing a couple of breathing exercises, so expanding my diaphragm, letting it contract, and kind of unlocking that muscle memory before I go on stage. So as I'm already in the zone when I go out there.
It's perfect. You said muscle memory, because that's so much of what all this is. It's like playing sports. Muscle memory is what it is. Your body, your muscles, your everything sort of remembers, and when you got to call upon it, it sort of falls into place, right? Because of the muscle memory.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the only way to do it really, because if you're trying to think all the time while you're performing, it's just going to affect the performance. So it's about practice, and yeah.
Exactly. A lot more music coming up. He's going to perform live for us as well. But in doing our research and a little digging, which we do very diligently here, Oscar, we're talking about athletics and sports and muscle memory. I imagine that applies here too. Tell us about this.
Oh, wow.
Cool
You have
shot.
done your
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was in Gaelic Park in the Bronx in New York, and that was last summer. So last summer
Was
I
it
was
really?
looking.
Wow.
Yeah, I went over and I stayed in New York for about 2.5 months. So actually, the story of that photograph is kind of funny, because essentially that's me and four of my friends, and the guy in the middle was the coach for a Gaelic football team.
Yeah.
And we had all arrived over on the boat, and he made a joke that we were his four sons, because we needed to be registered to play the game. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this; I'd get them in trouble. It wasn't a very important game, but it's a commonly done thing in the GAA. I don't know if everyone watching is familiar, but the GAA is the Gaelic Athletics Association in Ireland, and we've got some indigenous sports, so Gaelic football and hurling. And a lot of the time, when teams are short numbers, they recruit friends and stuff like that to play. And we were just off the plane. We'd arrived the night before.
Yeah.
And we had a friend, the guy on the far right, his name is Fergal. He was actually playing for this club all summer. And he rang us and said, you know, we've got a challenge match tomorrow, and which is like a friendly game, and we don't have enough players. Will you travel up to the Bronx and tog out? And I hadn't played a game in like 2 or 3 years, and it was like 28-degree heat,
Yeah.
which I'm not used to. So I nearly died on that pitch that day. But yeah, the coach in the middle, his last name was Coyle. So we all had to learn off a different name. I think I was Sean Coyle. And what we were told is if the referee has to book one of us to tell him that we're one of the Coyles. So that's the 5 Coyle brothers with our father right there. Yeah.
That is perfect. That is perfect. And here's another shot. You like you said, you've been in New York. You've performed in New York. This is a cool shot too. The I Love New York, huh? That's looks like it's Central Park.
Yeah.
Was this when you were here for a gig?
Yeah, so that was all in that time last summer. So that was a couple of days after I arrived. I was really lucky. So the reason I was over there is there's a program called the J1 visa program, and you can go to New York or to anywhere in the States for the summer and work as a student. So I was working in the Upper East Side, in an apartment building, kind of as a doorman and stuff like that. But then on the side, I was pursuing my music career. So on the weekends and stuff like that, I was playing gigs. And this was the first weekend just after I arrived. We went for a walk in Central Park, and I was playing a gig, I think, the following night. So that was my promo shot to say that, yeah, there you go. So that's the Scratcher. So that's a great bar down in East Village, and there's a big cohort of kind of Irish people and second generation Irish men and women that hang out there. And they've had some great songwriters like Glenn Hansard that have gone over there and played in that room over the years. And I was fortunate enough to go over there and play a 40-minute set last summer. It was pretty good.
Now we went back even further a little bit, Oscar.
Whoa, this is so funny. Wow. Yeah. So, yeah.
So you were at this was like a harbor festival or something you were part of?
Yeah. I know my mom and dad are watching at home. Yeah. They're probably laughing at this too, because wow, that's quite a while ago. But yeah, so as I said, I was doing all the kind of YouTube stuff as a young teenager, and this is one of the gigs where I kind of chanced my arm and I emailed. This is a festival that happens up the road from my house in County Clare. It's kind of a rural Irish town, but every year there's a big festival on the August bank holiday weekend, and they get in some, nationally renowned acts. They've had Damien Dempsey, Mundy, people like that. And that year I was the support act for Ryan Sheridan. Our local pharmacist is the chairperson of the festival committee, and I emailed him and I said, please let me play, and he did, which was amazing. So yeah, that's a long time ago.
But a cool shot, a real cool shot. You had fans already surrounding you then, see, even then.
yeah, that was cool.
That's cool. We have another clip too. Now this one you're performing live, and this is from the Instagram video. Tell us about this one. You want to see it first?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got it.
You're like, gee, I do about 5 a day. Which one could that
be? Yeah. Is it the Auburn one?
I think it's the one where we needed it as the MP4. So so it's probably that. But this was sort of live, right? Tell us this. And this was this the one? There's one that you were in Connecticut, actually. And then there's the other one where you're on stage.
No, this one was from my second ever headline gig in Dublin. There's a venue here called the Sound House. And yeah, this clip is the kind of last song of the night, the encore. It's me playing Auburn, actually, which is the song with the music video everyone just saw. And this was one of my favorite, probably my favorite gig I've ever played, that and Independence, the big festival, because it was about 200 people, a lot of friends. It was
nice and intimate.
Yeah, and it was the first time also when there was starting to be some genuine fans showing up that weren't close friends and family.
Right, and relatives. And
and it was my first time playing with like a really full band. So being able to, it's being like an acoustic singer-songwriter is one thing, but getting on stage with a full band and being able to perform with that energy and really throw yourself into it is amazing. So that's what this clip is of.
All right, here's more of Oscar Blue doing his thing live on stage. Let's take a look and enjoy, everybody.
Thank you so much. Good night. She's got a nose pierced skin. She dresses kind of cool. This time I won't fall a fool. Let it happen. I will let it happen again. I know how this morning. I know how this morning. Taking photos of a cigarette because the cold slide in the air. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers. Okay, I'll speak to you.
Really cool.
Yeah, good memories.
Yeah, huh? Yeah, we got another one too. Now, this is the one where you're with the guitar. Is this, I don't know if this is the one maybe when you were in Connecticut, you have the lake behind you.
Yeah,
You're seated.
sure.
So tell us about that one, the location, everything. That's real cool.
Yeah, that's actually, it's a funny story. So this was also last summer. We were on our J1 program in the States, and one night we'd been working, we were living in a tiny apartment in the Upper East Side. There was 4 guys, there was like 2 rooms, and it was a studio apartment, but we managed to squeeze 4 of us into it for the summer to make rent cheaper, and so as we would be in a great location. We were right beside Central Park. So one evening after work, I think it was a Friday night, 2 of the guys I lived with had decided to buy a car, and they bought like a really, really old Honda Civic or something like that, like 20-year-old car for like $800 or something. And its maiden voyage, one night we were like, let's get out of the city, because as you can imagine, New York in the summertime, when you're there for a few weeks working hard, it can be an intense place. So we were like, let's get out of town. So we jumped in the car on its maiden voyage, and off we went towards Connecticut, and we ended up in this small town called Weston, I think.
Weston, beautiful area. Yeah, Fairfield County. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we drove up into the hills, and we found kind of a reservoir or this lake, and we hung out there for a couple of hours. I shot this video, and on the way back, we went to get into the car, and it was like dusk, heading for nightfall. And we made a joke walking towards the car. Imagine it didn't start because there was no phone service. It was quite a remote area, and it was starting to get dark. And sure enough, we jumped in the car, turned the key, and it wouldn't turn, it wouldn't start. So we were like, "Oh my god, what are we going to do?"
Now we're
And there's no phone signal, so we literally had to walk down the road for like a couple miles till we. It was a couple of days after the 4th of July, so people were still out celebrating. It was kind of holiday weekend, and we heard some people in their garden in a really like remote area kind of having a barbecue and having some drinks. So we very reluctantly and cautiously went up to the fence and had to kind of shout in and say hey, and our car broke down, and we met a lovely family there, and they brought us in and they gave us a beer, helped us call roadside maintenance or roadside help, and we got out of there. But earlier on that evening, I shot this video of an unreleased song called No Rush.
See, our jobs as entertainment people are to make things look smooth and easy, like everything is always perfect and it was meant to be. What an awesome, typical story of some of the crazy things that can happen, right?
Yeah.
But you took lemonade, you took lemons and turned it into lemonade by shooting this while you were there with that fantastic background here in the States and this in Connecticut. Let's take a look at this one, folks. More great music from Oscar Blue. Thanks for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show live. Good to have everybody here all around the world. And here he is in southern New England by the lake with his guitar, waiting for AAA to come and fix the car. Oscar Blue.
We were driving in my car late last night. You stuck your head out the window like a dog just barking at the streetlights. And I think you were laughing, but I'm not really sure. I had to keep my eyes off you and on the road, 'cause my foot was to the floor. One of those classic songs came on the radio. You know, one of those old tunes we're almost too young to know. But you sang every word like you were an old soul. And maybe that's what we are. We're just two old souls driving in my car. And I just listen to that symphony of sound and silence as the city of light and dark you made its way behind us. The closer that we got to tracks of dust, I realized with you in my life, I was in no rush. No rush. I think I landed on my feet here with you. I'm thinking maybe some of my dreams are finally coming true. And I don't wanna speak too soon. Don't you forget what we are. We're just two old souls driving in my car. And I just listen to that symphony of sound and silence as the city of light and dark you made its way behind us. The closer that we got to tracks of dust, I realized with you in my life, I was in no rush. And I remember all those summer nights before life ran its course. We'd stay out all night, sing those songs till our voices went hoarse. And at 3 a.m. I dropped you home like it could never end. Here I am, right now, calling that way back when. We just listen to that symphony of sound and silence as the city of light and dark and made its way behind us. The closer that we got to tracks of dust, I realized with you in my life, I was in no rush.
I like that.
Thank you.
And it ties in so beautifully to the car breaking down because not in a rush. Everybody's commenting about the song. And of course, I'm familiar with that location there in Weston, Connecticut. It is a really beautiful spot. And like you said, the sun was setting and you have the lake and the trees behind you. So you just grabbed the guitar. Was that song already something pre-written or did you come up with that on the spot? Because it sort of blends in with what was going on at the time. It was so perfect.
Funnily enough, no, I definitely didn't write it on the spot. I wish I was that talented.
It's like
no, but it blended in with the story. As you're right, it's a song about getting out of the city. You know, the closer that we got to tracks of dust, I realized I was in no rush. So yeah, it was. I never realized that, but yeah, and even it talks about a car and stuff like that. And
yeah, and we're in no rush. Hey, we're here. The car's stuck. So what are we gonna do? We gotta grab the guitar and just start going, creating good music. Which people are saying, nice afternoon with wonderful music, wonderful scenery. From Mary Bishop in Florida, USA. Beautiful backdrop, great song from Juanita in South Africa. Bernadette. Good stuff. Nan Milligan on YouTube. Beautiful location. Willie's saying, "What good?" with 4 thumbs up from Holland. Really cool stuff coming in here. Looks like a lovely area to perform. Carla in Brazil saying, "Cool." She's loving it. Thumbs up as well. And saying, "Beautiful scenery and amazing music. What more could we ask for?" Nice from Juanita, and Bernadette saying, "Bravo." All, they love it. They love it, my friend. And
Thank you, everybody.
Marilyn, who's in Wichita, Kansas, USA, says, "Beautiful location and song." Yeah, it blends in perfectly with the scenery too, and you can really take on all kinds of different vibes. How do you? That's the true test of a talent, that you can have a lot of different sounds and not just have one particular sound that you're sort of limited to or stuck in. You can pick up the instrument, you can pick up the pen and start writing music that can really be different each time. How do you describe your music? How do you categorize it, or do you not categorize it?
Sure. I think it's the variety actually comes from a place of, you know, a lot of that music and these clips were a couple of years ago. I was really finding my feet in terms of my original music. So yeah, it's a funny one. As I said, I've got influences from like U2 and other big kind of pop rock bands like The Script or Codaline, stuff like that. And then I also love intimate folk acts like Luca Bloom and Damien Dempsey and people like that, Irish acts. So yeah, my sound, it varies. How I would describe it, it the stuff that's released so far, it's either kind of been quite intimate folk music or it's been kind of pop rock, and one or the other. But what's been really great is over like the last year, I've been working with a new producer. Philip McGee is his name, and he's just an amazingly talented guy. He's worked on some amazing records, like The Script's first album, Codaline's first album, and essentially working with him has just been amazing in that I'm really at the moment starting to get a really clear idea of what my sound is, and the music that I've got coming out in the next few months, I think will be much more of a fusion of this kind of pop rock influence and also this acoustic guitar folk style of writing. So I would say going forward, and it probably fits into the stuff I've released, my music is kind of guitar based pop rock music. So the stuff I've coming out, it's all written on the acoustic guitar, but we've included you know, electric guitars and huge drum kits and stuff like that, real ambient soundscapes to fill it out. So it's going to hopefully be this hybrid thing.
Really nice. I like that. So it's sort of still, it's developing and morphing as it goes along, right? You're sort of experimenting and playing with it and seeing where it all takes you, right?
Exactly, yeah. And I think what I've done so far is I've released 5 or 6 singles. And when you release singles, each one can be slightly different. It's not one body of work, and time passes between the recording and releasing of each one. So you can probably hear that a bit in the stuff I've got out. It's kind of been me finding my feet. But the beauty of what I've been doing lately with Philip, my producer, is over the last year, we've been working on one body of work, my debut EP. So it's going to be a 4-track EP, all produced in, you know, all recorded in 1 week, you know, and all written around a similar time in my life. And because it's kind of one producer, I think we're really starting to achieve a kind of consistency in the sound we're going for, and it's something new and fresh, and it's got a mix of all my influences. So I'm really happy with it.
Tell us about the one that you did in Barcelona. We have that available here too, and we want to share that with the audience. What was the inspiration for that one that you did in Spain?
Yeah. So that song is called Madrugada, which is the Spanish word for kind of the early morning time, just before dawn. And the inspiration for this song, this was one of the first songs I wrote that maybe wasn't terrible. So, like all,
you're very humble, Oscar. They're all great.
Yeah. Well, I wrote this. I got the idea for this song when I first kind of started going to house parties as a teenager in Ireland. Maybe we start a bit younger, given our culture here. But I was about 16 or so, and one of my best friends had a party, and it ended up being like 3 or 4 a.m. and he's got this lovely balcony on his house. I live quite near a lake in the west of Ireland called Lough Derg, and I stepped out onto the balcony with the guitar, you know, like all good singer-songwriters do, coming towards the end of a party. And we had learned that word madrugada in Spanish class in school like the week before, and it just occurred to me like, hey, this is the madrugada. It's 3 or 4 a.m. The sun's going to be coming up soon. And I just strummed a chord, and, you know, the first line came to me in the madrugada: everything will be all right. We're just waiting for the light. Started to rhyme it, and I guess it's just kind of a song about that really intimate time of the night. You know, it's quite reflective, I found, and yeah, that's where the song came from.
That's cool. Again, another opportunity where you grab the guitar and climb up on the roof or get next to the lake and just start doing your thing.
yeah.
On the spot productions for sure.
Yeah.
When you get that sense and you get that vibe, I mean, you'd be great to have at a party, because or at a situation where everybody, like, say for example, everybody's down in the dumps and everybody's depressed and nobody's happy, and you're looking around. And it might be an Irish thing that we tend to do that, where you see a lot of people negative and not so happy and everything, and you either you're telling jokes or you're grabbing a guitar or whatever they do, or you're serving drinks, whatever it is, to make people laugh and have fun and forget their troubles. So you'll grab the guitar when all the chaos is going on and just start strumming and put good feelings in people's minds, which must be awesome too when they come to see you perform too, because they're left feeling really good, like they got a solid performance, but they just feel really better about life, huh? And you like doing that.
Yeah, well, that's like, I guess it relates back to what you were saying earlier about it's not about, you know, you got to remember why you do it, and that's certainly why making music is such an amazing thing. It's you know, a gift that I'm blessed to have been given, just to be able to write songs, to be able to put my emotions into those things. And, you know, starting out, it was a thing that I did probably just for me, but, you know, I suppose something I've realized and been very grateful to realize is that other people seem to really get something out of the stuff I'm writing, and can relate to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an amazing thing, and something I try not to take for granted. You know, you talk about people maybe being happy to hear me play at parties and stuff. I'm sure if you asked my college flatmates that are all quietly being very patient while I'm
These
on.
guys are good, I tell you. You have muzzles on them or something, or do you owe all of them drinks or something? It's got to be. They're looking for something later, maybe.
Don't give them any ideas in case they're listening in. But I'm sure if you ask them,
that could get expensive.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm sure if you ask them how delighted they are to hear me take the guitar out of parties, you might get a different answer.
They might be like,
yeah. So.
Again. Well, you're taking the guitar in this video too. And what was it like filming there, you know, in Spain, and having that atmosphere and capturing that there? That must have been cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. So, as I said, at this time, this was right when I was starting out as Oscar Blue. I had no budget, and I was in Barcelona visiting a couple of friends that were traveling Europe from Argentina, and it was at the same time needing to get a music video done. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm really big on, when you don't have a budget, instead of going the extra mile in terms of equipment or producers or videographers, I like to go the extra mile. Quite literally, I suppose I was in Barcelona, but
yeah,
in terms of location for making a video, because if you haven't got a great camera, what can help that? Having an incredible view. So while I was in Barcelona, I brought my camera, gave it to my friend that was with me, and we got up one morning in the madrugada, so at like 4 or 5 a.m., and we just walked the streets of Barcelona, and then we got a taxi to just outside the city where you could kind of look back at the sunrise. And yeah, it was like such a beautiful place to make the video. I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other way.
Well, I tell you, not having a budget, it looks again like $1 million video. It was really well shot and well done, and everything, just matches perfectly. Let's take a look at it right now. Here's more of Oscar Blue doing his thing, and then we'll be back with more. He's going to play live for us as well, as long as he can keep the lads sort of locked in the kitchen. He baked them a cake or something. They're eating while they're in there, and then he locked the door, and the key is in the room with him.
Well, actually, one of my friends, Sean, he doesn't live with me, but he's being nice. He's just commented saying he loves hearing me play at gaffs. Gaffs is like slang for house parties. So cheers for that, Sean.
He looks like a performer too, doesn't he?
Well, he's a great pianist. So,
see?
Yeah, there you go.
Are some of the other lads that are in there also musicians at all, or is it just you?
Yeah, we've got a keyboard in our kitchen. A couple of the guys.
Do you guys jam once in a while?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we like to jam and have a sing song.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Welcome, Sean. It's good to see you as well, and thanks for typing as opposed to talking, I guess. That's it. All right, here, let's go to that video right now. Let's go to the video, as they say, and we'll be back with more. Enjoy, everybody. It's another great performance by Oscar Blue, official music video. That's a really nice song, my friend. Really, really nice. I tell you. Yeah, and like I say, these videos, I know you say the budget was limited, if anything, taking out of the piggy bank to put it together. Really, really good stuff. I mean, with the videos themselves, do you get involved in deciding the edits, the shots, or do you leave it all up to the producers and you just focus on the song and the performance, or are you in overseeing the actual production of the video and saying, I really like that shot and I like the way the sun is setting there and I like this? How involved you get involved in that part of it too?
Yeah, so that video, I edited it and I completely
Did you really?
directed it. That was made on iMovie. So yeah, I brought a Canon 550D camera with me, and I just told the dude that was with me, I said, just walk beside me, do the shots like this, get a shot of this, that, and the other, and then I just banged it all together on iMovie. There's
Good job. He's a producer director too.
I mean, I don't know if I could do much more of a more difficult concept, but I like having that artistic control. I mean, I'm already looking at music videos for songs I've got coming in the coming months, and I'm like, part of me would just like to take the lead on those two, to be honest, if I could pull it off. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to show you again some of the comment. We're a very viewer centric. We like to bring the viewers in, very interactive entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So Anne watching, saying this is a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, Oscar. And Mary Bishop says, Trayvon, very good. Kathleen, claps, claps, claps from New York City. Carla in South America, Brazil, gives a nice smile, loving it. Claps, more claps from Kathleen in New York, which is cool. Bernadette says, such a tune. She's loving it. Fantastic from Juanita in South Africa. More coming in from Bernadette, loving it too. Loving it as well. Willie, she's picking up on that too. I love that. And I love this one. Sean, of course, we got that earlier, what he said, which was cool. Yeah. More coming in. I have to agree with Ann. Wonderful afternoon. Nice video. I like the personal touches. And this, you probably knew this, Carla in Brazil, mentioning that in Portuguese it means dawn.
Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with what Nan and others have been saying, Oscar. You have a unique style. You aren't I know you, like you said earlier in your years, you were doing covers of this one and that one and stuff, but you've carved out really your own sound and your own vibe and your own style that is really different. It's even different than some of the other Irish artists that are out there. It stands out. It's really unique. It's got a cool vibe. There's a warmth to it, and it's just it's very current. It's very modern. It's very current and modern, but yet it has some old school qualities underneath it. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I mean, that's a great compliment. I feel like in terms of, yeah, it might make sense in terms of the influences. I do like some old singer-songwriters that are just guitar-based stuff, and then I listen to a lot of modern rock pop music. So maybe
Yeah.
that shines through. Yeah.
Christine Clifton in North Carolina, USA says all fantastic songs, all of them. Oscar is a mature, very talented. His own niche. Yeah, you've created sort of your own niche, which is really, really true. You certainly have. You also wanted to perform. You got that fantastic
Yeah.
guitar there. You wanted to perform some things for us as well, right? What did you want to start with, my friend?
Let me see. I haven't planned it too much. I like to do these things with spontaneity.
Sort of impromptu, which is the best, right?
Yeah. Let me see. I might start with a song called Orange Juice. So this is something that I've been working on. It's not released yet, but it might be a good place to start.
Yeah. There's Oscar Blue live from Dublin.
Okay. Who would have thought I'd be here, pulling Cupid's arrows right from my side? Who would have thought I'd be here, stopping love right in its stride? Maybe you and I would be like wine, but you and I get better with time. We get better with time. Cause if you were the weather, you'd be sunshine. You'd never fail to make me smile. If you were a time, you'd be golden hour. If you had a taste, you'd be sweet, not sour. If you were a drink, you'd be orange juice. First thing in the morning, take away my blues. I hate goodbyes, it's a lose-lose. I guess it's important to say thank you. Thank you. Who would have thought I'd be here, exploring pastures new with you? Who would have thought I'd be here, no recollection of anything I've been through? And maybe you and I would be like wine, but you and I have gotten better with time. If we didn't cut ties. Cause if you were the weather, you'd be sunshine. You never fail to make me smile. If you were a time, you'd be golden hour. If you had a taste, you'd be sweet, not sour. If you were a drink, you'd be orange juice. First thing in the morning, giving me a boost. I hate goodbyes, it's a lose-lose. I guess it's important to say thank you. Thank you. Cause if you were the weather, you'd be sunshine. You never fail to make me smile. If you were a time, you'd be golden hour. If you had a taste, you'd be sweet, not sour. If you were a drink, you'd be orange juice. First thing in the morning, giving me a boost. I hate goodbyes, it's a lose-lose. I guess it's important to say thank you. I guess it's important to say thank you.
Really nice, my friend. Really nice. Tell us about that song a little bit. That's got a really great vibe to it, and everybody's loving it. They're saying that too. Love the acoustic vibe. Oscar Blue, the acoustic, and live on Master Show. They're liking the acoustic sound too. That song, there's a lot of heart and soul to that song, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess a lot of my songs are usually like written around a concept. So, like we just had a few minutes ago, we had Madrugada, and that's about that idea of being awake at that time of night. And then this song, yeah, I mean, once again, it's a love song, it's a love story. But I guess with this person, one time I had this funny thought of like, if you were a drink, you'd be orange juice.
Right.
Because the person was just this kind of super fun, breath of fresh air type of person.
Right.
And after I had
like sunshine, yeah.
yeah, once I had that thought, I was like, what other comparisons could I make? And it all kind of came together as this weird metaphor for a human being. Yeah.
Wowee from Juanita in South Africa, Mary Bishop. You are really good, Oscar. Don't stop doing what you do. Love the acoustic vibe. Willie says, for me, the wine as well, which is cool. I tease the audience because this crowd, they love food too. We've done food shows too on the Jim Master Show Live. Tell us about this.
Oh yeah,
ice cream. Love it.
Yeah. So
it's tied
in Ireland
to
we have
music,
a thing called a 99. Sorry. I think we
that's tied to one of your songs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. It is tied to one of my songs. So in Ireland we have a thing called a 99 ice cream, which is it used to be an ice cream with the flake, which is that piece of chocolate, and they used to cost 99 cents. Unfortunately, they don't anymore. I'm a strong campaigner for returning the price of a 99 to 99 cents.
Now it's $4.99.
Yeah, literally. Unfortunately, so I wrote a song about moving to Dublin for the first time nearly 4 years ago now, and there's the song, the main line in the chorus is, I just bought myself a 99 ice cream and I'm making my way down Grafton Street, which is one of the central streets here in Dublin. So yeah, that's a fun tune about ice cream and new beginnings, and you know, it's kind of a happy Friday song.
Positive, upbeat. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love ice cream, right? Absolutely, my friend.
Yeah.
What would you like to spring on us now?
I think what might be a good one would be Silhouettes, because that's a song that really
this here, right? That's the new. Yeah.
That's the one. I don't know if you were planning on playing that video.
Yeah.
I can perform it live too.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
So what is tell us a little bit about the background on that one, because that's recent.
Yeah, that one was it was the second single, but I guess the video was probably came out a little bit later. And in terms of video productions, if anyone wants to check it out later, it's on YouTube, and that was probably my favorite thing we've done. But yeah, it's the background of the song. I wrote it when I was quite a young teenager. Funnily enough, it's kind of just about. It's a love song. It's fairly self-explanatory, but it was amazing that I wrote it kind of at this young age just for myself, and then released it like 3 years later on Spotify. And this was the first song that really kind of took off for me. It got into a big Spotify playlist and has now been streamed a couple of million times.
And so, what's the theme to it? What would you say the message is, the story is in Silhouette?
Yeah, so I got, once again, a lot of my songs are around a concept. And there's another song by an artist I love called Hold Back the River by James Bay. And there's a line in that song that says, once upon a different life, we rode our bikes into the sky. And I just thought that was a beautiful image of, you know, two people riding their bikes into the sunset. And that gave me the line, you know, can we walk into the sunset until our bodies, they're silhouettes? And I kind of expanded on that image and what I thought that story might mean, or where it might go. And
that's really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of your stuff is really deep. You're a deep thinker, aren't you? Yeah. You are. Yeah.
I think so. I, sometimes too deep, maybe.
I know what you mean. I got you there. Same thing. But it comes out in your music. You're able to express it in music that connects with people, which I think is awesome. It's your way of expressing it. So that's a really great concept as far as we're fading off into the silhouettes of ourselves towards that sort of at the end. That's really a beautiful concept. Let's hear you do that live and acoustically. That would be awesome, my friend.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah. All right.
She's a diamond in the cold, something that enchants my soul. Graceful and captivating, just one glance and my mind was invaded. Hooked on those eyes, I need my fix. But you can't force what never clicks. So should I try really, really hard, or keep loving you from afar? Or can we walk into the sunset till our bodies are silhouettes? 'Cause busy days cause busy lives, and you'll just keep on walking by. Are my hopes just gonna suffocate in my doubt? Or am I being my anxious self just drowning my chances out? So am I hot or am I cold? Am I something new or am I something old? It's not time for playing games. Am I burning in the blaze? I'm hooked on those eyes, I need my fix. But you can't force what never clicks. So should I try really, really hard, or just keep loving you from afar? Or can we walk into the sunset till our bodies are silhouettes? 'Cause busy days cause busy lives, and you'll just keep on walking by. Are my hopes just gonna suffocate in my doubt? Or am I being my anxious self just drowning my chances out? You don't change, my feelings never do, and my heart won't break. But I'm losing faith in you when I think of your name. I'm just thinking of a dream that I wish would come true. Oh, can we walk into the sunset till our bodies are silhouettes? 'Cause busy days cause busy lives, and you'll just keep on walking by. Are my hopes gonna suffocate in my doubt? Or am I being my anxious self just drowning my chances out?
Really fantastic. That is an awesome song. That really is. And you can sort of visualize what it was that you were trying to achieve and sort of fading off into a silhouette of ourselves. And that's a very meaningful song. And a lot of people are saying that too. Some of these comments that are coming in from everybody, I enjoy very much. Willie gives you claps here, and they're all talking to each other too. which I like. Great music. They're like talking to each other as much as they're talking to us, the viewers, the Loveities. Great music from Kathleen in New York City. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, Mary Bishop is working right now caring for a 92-year-old woman. She said, "Who's he? He's good."
Wow. Thank you.
And then Bernadette, yeah, Bernadette, you're reaching all ages, my friend. Yeah, I tell you. Bernadette says, Mary, good taste in music, knows no boundary of age, which is right. We appreciate that. What does Mary say? Yes, folks, spread the word. Jim's shows are so positive, and these not so positive times leaves you feeling really good. Absolutely. Well, with great guests like Oscar on with us, absolutely, that makes it happen. Marilyn was closing her eyes and enjoying it while you were trying to give us the vision of the silhouette, which I think is really, really cool. Kathleen in New York says great music. Cool stuff. Did you want to share something else with us? Is there another song you have that you wanted to?
Sure. I'm thinking maybe what I might do is give you guys a blast of some music that's to come.
Oh, cool.
So here's a track. It's called Backyard Mafia, and it's going to be on the EP I'm releasing in the new year. And it's a song about friendship and brotherhood and my home in the west of Ireland. So yeah, I can play that one.
So yet again on the Jim Masters Show Live, a world exclusive premiere. We're always having that on this show. It's cool. So this is the first time people are going to be really hearing this.
Yeah, I guess so.
Awesome.
I mean, we've gone quite big on the production of this one, but this can be a nice stripped back rendition.
Well, look at this. I want more. I want more. I want more. So you got it, Oscar. We are delivering here.
There you go.
That's it. All right. Backyard Mafia?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, here we go. Here's Oscar Blue.
Two roads diverge from the same, will always lead you home again. Where we used to run in the rain, where you and I remain, where we play good guys, bad guys, where we had good times and hard times. And although you never did emotions, I compensated with my notions. When we were partners in crime, once upon a time, country lane gangsters, backyard mafia. I worry that you drink too much, and you worry that I think too much. Still we recall times laughing till we cried, like a Super 8 film playing out in our minds. Oh, when we were partners in crime, once upon a time, country lane gangsters, backyard mafia. One day we'll be 6 foot in the ground. Oh, we learned that too young in this town. Best hope our love sticks around. Oh, it's not all that's lost can be found. Oh, and I know you'll always preach the gospel, according to the Bible. And I'll be an armchair rock star, each perched in our local bar. Oh, 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 you never stray far. Two roads diverged from the same, will always lead you home again.
Really nice. That is a world premiere, everybody. That's a great song. And again, you can just envision what you're trying to get across, like with the buddies and the yard, and as time and life goes on, to really like sort of savor those moments and those people in your life now. It's sort of like jovial and carefree as it is. Life moves and the clock waits for nobody. So enjoy it all now. You have a way of you're definitely a storyteller as much as you are a singer, songwriter, musician. There are stories underneath. Some of these songs almost are anthem-like. I mean, they really just have this depth underneath them that sort of touches people in a way that's really, really cool. And especially, the fact that you're, for everybody watching, in case they're just tuning in, he's 22. He's not 62 with all this wisdom. He's 22 with all of this wisdom. Quick reminder, everybody. So there's lots more to come from Oscar Blue, but it's really cool. Would you say that you have a little bit of an old soul inside you too? It sounds like it through some of this music, which is cool.
Yeah, I definitely think I probably do. Yeah, I mean, I definitely am someone that like feels things quite deeply, and I would suppose so. I like authenticity, and I think, I don't know, was it Dylan or Leonard Cohen, but there was some great songwriter that said, the best songs are are three chords and the truth, and that's kind of what I try to get across. Is I don't try and I'm not making music to try and make cool music or trendy music or anything like that, or to try and put out a version of myself that isn't me. A lot of my songs are honest, and if it's songs about whatever, even girls and stuff like that, or friends and buddies of mine, relationships that on one level could be like embarrassing when I think, oh, friends and family are going to hear it. That's not the point. It's about making music that comes straight from the heart and there's no filter. And I would hope that that's where the kind of maybe that old soul vibe comes from.
It's nice to hear it from people who know of you, who are fans, but also people who watch our series, the Jim Master Show Live, who are now being introduced to you too. But also when you hear it from a lad, from a buddy who says he can confirm that you have that old school quality in you, and that you come from authenticity, the most authentic chap I've ever met.
Wow. Thanks, man.
It's kind of cool that he's chiming in with that confirmation of what we're talking about. It's true, and again, that really comes out in your music, really, really in a beautiful way that I think is long lasting for people, which is amazing. Good stuff.
So much, yeah. That kind of means more than anything. So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There was this too. Tell us about that one. That one came out also, huh?
Yeah. So that song was the first tune that I worked on with this new producer I'm working with, so Philip McGee, who, as I said, has done work with the script, Codaline. So if you take a listen to that song on, say, Spotify, you can really hear that the production is much bigger and of probably a higher quality than anything else I've done before. And this is the same guy that I'm currently making my EP with. So this tune was like a good taster, I guess, of the work that's to come, and the bigger direction that I'm kind of taking my sound. That song in particular is probably the most kind of rocky I'll get, but it's a good taste of that kind of feel that I'm definitely going to be dipping into some more.
sort of so taking on more challenges and different styles, but not at the same time straying necessarily from the heart of what you do and what people know of you, right? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's that song in terms of like electric guitars and stuff. It's definitely the most different from what I've done, but there's still very singer-songwriter elements, of like verse, chorus kind of thing. But I think if you can imagine that song, which is kind of the most electric-y, I kind of go with some of the more acoustic stuff I've played. It's going to be this kind of convergence, the sound I'm going to be making going forward. So
really cool, really cool. Got a couple of cool photos here too. Tell us what was happening here. This is a cool shot.
Oh yeah, that was the early days. It's a funny thing. I've only played maybe 3 or 4 gigs of original music in Dublin, and then I would be kind of gearing up to play gigs around now, but with COVID-19, everything's on hold. So that was 2 years ago, and that was Freshers Week in college. So I played in a venue in Dublin called the Grand Social. And this was right off the back of releasing my first single. So it was a really cool time because it was nice that there was such a buzz amongst my friends. My friends are really supportive. And after releasing the music, everyone was really keen to hear me play live. So that gig, funnily enough, was actually at like 3 a.m. There was a whole load of acts on before me, and it was kind of a college night out. So people stuck around to hear my set at like 3 a.m., which was the latest gig I've ever played, but it was really fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Great shot here too.
That one is that's Independence. So that's that big festival I mentioned. I got to play on the main stage, which is the biggest stage I've ever played on. So that's me looking super content up there, being like, I think the 14-year-old me on the inside was coming out there and being like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm standing up here.
Yeah, actually standing there is another cool shot.
Yeah, that's in a vintage clothes shop where I did an acoustic session one time. I did a video there.
Cool. Here's another one.
That's in the studio recently with Philip. My producer took that, so that's me working hard on the new tracks. That was a promo shot for the recent single "Sober From You." So that's actually in Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. The week before COVID really hit Ireland and became a big deal over here. I was lucky that actually the week just before it hit, I was away on a holiday doing some surfing with some friends in the Canary Islands. So we actually shot the promo shots over there.
You were surfing in the Canary Islands? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, trying to surf. I'm a novice, but I went over there for a week to do some practice and get some sunshine. So yeah.
Nice. So a little work and play on assignment there, which is nice. That's cool. And of course, this one we showed earlier, one of the promo shots too.
Yeah,
yeah, cool ones we got here. And that's the thing. A lot of promo shots as you go along to it all. When you look at all of it, what are some of the things that continue to? And Mary, they're all liking the photos and everything. And Bernadette says, please be sure to stay safe and stay well while in that lockdown.
Right back at you guys,
yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got our work cut out for us here in the United States, that's for sure. What are some of the things that continue to, I mean, you're in the early stages, even though you've accomplished so much already, Oscar, you've still got so much more to say and so much more to deliver and share with everybody. But what are some of the things that continue to move you forward and inspire you? Like right now, I mean, you're balancing the university, college, which you're going to be wrapping up soon, with this musical career that's you're sort of fertilizing and tending to that at the same time. So with that, what are some of those joys and those inspirations that still continue to thrust you forward in creating for the good of all of us?
Yeah. I guess life never stops, so there's always something to pour your emotions into. So I just write, sometimes as a kind of therapeutic thing. other music really inspires me. You know what I mean? Listening to other bands, my taste has developed slightly even over the last few years. I've gone through periods of listening to like real kind of like folk and you know, music that's very acoustic and based around harmonies and stuff like that. And then I've also emerged to listen to like a lot of really kind of more rock bands and rock artists like Sam Fender and Inhaler, who Inhaler are a great Irish band. They're similar to age and myself. Actually, Bono's son is the lead singer of that band, but they're making some great rock music. Um, and then what else? Like, I mean, just I really enjoy doing this. I mean, I love sharing music, so just that alone encourages me to keep writing. And then I'd also, I mean, I'd be lying if I said it's not a career that I wanna, you know, do. It's not something that I want to make a career out of, because it is. You know, we've all got to make a living somehow in this world, and I figure, you know, if I can do that, making music, that would be amazing. So there's all sorts of reasons, but I would say the main thing is just to kind of document my life and to yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing it beautifully, my friend. You really, really are. It's cool stuff, and hopefully, you know, when we get through all this with the COVID and everything, you'll be able to get back out, like all performers, get back out and feed off the energy of the audience and continue creating in that way. At least you can still write songs and still perform in, you know, in your little nucleus there. But I know you really want to get out there and get on stage and get into venues and just have that go further. And you will, you know, once we get all of this handled and under control and everything. So, and I look forward to that. We'll be definitely checking you out when you come here to the States, probably either New York, Boston, or Connecticut, through that whole stretch where we are between New York and Boston. You before all of this happened in March, where everything sort of shut, the world just stopped, you had a lot of things booked for 2020. You were a lot of things coming.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting back out and performing. I know we had a comment there earlier from Uptown Artist Group, and they've been really brilliant with me. David Shaughnessy and all the guys there that are hopefully going to help me get over to the States sooner rather than later when things calm down. So we had been talking about maybe having done something this summer gone by in the States and getting over there, but obviously the powers didn't permit. So I think definitely I'll hopefully make it to the East Coast when I can do, and hopefully across different parts of the States as well. Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to that. Did you want to close out with something, some song or something that closes out here? Because you've been generous with the time, and the guys have been like, they really love you because they've been absolutely silent. I think if you had a cat or a dog, the cat or dog would have been noisier, or a bird. These guys have been either that or they just gave up and fell asleep. Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they've all left.
We thank them.
yeah. Thank you. I don't know if they're watching, but they're good guys. They stay quiet for me. So
I tell you, what would you like to do next, or do you want to surprise us?
So I'm just tuning down, but I'm going to play.
Yeah. Mary Bishop says it was so nice to have met you, Oscar. I know that we've seen you again. Take care, be safe, be well, and thank you for a great afternoon. Kathleen saying thank you for sharing your music with us. Willie and Holland saying thanks. A lot of good love coming this way. So,
well, thank you, everybody. It's quite the community you've got going here, and it's really cool to not only perform but to interact with everyone. So thank you for giving up a couple hours of your afternoon if you're in the States, or evening if you're elsewhere like me. I've really, really enjoyed it, and thank you, Jim, for having me.
Our pleasure. I hope the show certainly met your expectations, and you had as much time, much fun with us as I certainly have with you, Oscar.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Really, really great. And who knows, maybe we could do it again sometime, or further down the line, or hopefully in person someday. You never know.
Absolutely. We will. We'll toast in person. And it's been a lot of good Irish crack on the show tonight. And it's funny, I tell everybody here, I'm like, I have to explain what that means when we say we did a lot of crack last night, because here in the States and in Canada, they don't necessarily know what we're talking about. They're thinking of something a little different. So I'm like, no, that means fun, joy, good times, solid times. And it's CRAIC, not the other spelling. So we don't want to be in the papers in the morning saying Jim Masters and his guest did crack last night. Irish crack. Good times. Good.
We just had a lot of fun. Which we did, sure. Sláinte, the crack was at 100. It sure was.
It was at 100. That's right. Learning about you and your music, which is exactly, and that's what we do in the show. We don't just, do a song and have like a quick 5-minute chat, and then people are like, who was that? Who was that? I like to really, learn about the person, have our audience learn about the person, bring the audience in as well. They can comment. We're all one big community, sort of, or we're all supporting each other. And that's really what, life is all about, and the way it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, this has been great. I love how personable some of the comments are. They mean so much. I see even Juanita here wishing me luck with my studies. I mean, that's so nice.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? All right. So what's the next song you wanted to do as we get ready to wrap? And then we'll come back and say a quick goodbye as well, my friend.
So this last song is called A Dance at the Crossroads. And this is probably the most Irish of any song I've written. It's inspired by, so basically years ago, in times gone by in Ireland, before there was media and stuff like this, YouTube Live or television even, or possibly even radio at some point, people used to, for entertainment, they would meet at the crossroads all around Ireland. So they would bring traditional instruments and they would do Irish dancing. They'd sing, play music, drink, dance, and that's where the inspiration for this song came from. It's a love story, of yesteryear, a love story of times gone by, of two people that maybe met dancing at the crossroads.
And I can see it gets you all choked up. Just thinking about it, right?
There we go, yeah.
All right, my friend, here's more of Oscar Blue, Dancing at the Crossroads.
The men will gather in their flat caps. They talk about this and they talk about that. Oh, what a summer we're having. If it stays dry, we'll be laughing. Well, on she came in her long summer dress. For a dance at the crossroads, she'd be looking her best. They caught eyes from a mile away. Into the music they began to sway. Well, he asked her to dance and she said, I might just leave some room for the Holy Spirit. Oh, no lust, I have to be home by 12. So don't get ahead of yourself. And he was just like her old lad, tall, dark and handsome, and he's a chip on his shoulder, but that never stopped him. She was just like his mother, face as pure as her heart. She believed anything he'd say about a fresh start. As the moonlight fell, so to the day, at a dance at the crossroads, to the music they'd sway. To the music they'd sway. One year passes by and they were dancing still. The boys would pass comments like, Johnny, you know the drill. So he got down on one knee, and soon she was a wife to be. And he was just like her old lad, fond of a bottle or two. Caused himself enough trouble, but he muddled on through. She was just like his mother, oh, she'd never miss church. She prayed for others in spite of her own hurt. And as the clocks and calendars turned, so too did they. At a dance at the crossroads, the music they'd sway. To the music they'd sway. With this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Oh, this little thing called love, doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough. Doing it half-heartedly just ain't enough.
Really good. One after the other, I tell you. You're really, really amazing, my friend. And good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing all of this with us. That was a great one. When you wrote that, what were you thinking? What was some of the inspiration for that one?
Yeah, I had been in Dublin City one day in the summer waiting for a friend, and I had an hour or two to kill, and I went into the National Art Gallery in Dublin, which is amazing. If anyone ever visits the city, I'd highly recommend going. But I went in with kind of no expectations whatsoever, and I walked around and looked at all these paintings of, olden Ireland and Ireland from another era, thatched roofed houses and people dancing at the crossroads and playing traditional Irish music, and people with horse and carts and all this old way of living. And I just found it really inspirational, and I started to write down. I figured there could be a song in here somewhere, so I started to write down all the things I was seeing into my phone. So flat caps and long summer dresses and that sort of thing, and dancing at the crossroads. And then when I got home that night, I had all these ideas written into my phone, and I kind of brainstormed them out and said, what am I trying to get at here? And essentially it was a story of people meeting in the summertime at a dance at the crossroads, and that's kind of where the song came from.
I tell you, you really are prolific. You're amazing. Just the wisdom that you have, and with these songs, there's somewhat, like I said, I keep saying it the same thing over and over, but there's a lot of depth to what you do, my friend. And I think that's really, really, really cool. That's what lasts so much. You're not a one-hit wonder at all. You've got a lot that's coming out from your experiences of life. And you're so good at taking these moments, like you're saying, you're at the art museum. You're so cool at being able to just be in a spot and to just like start doing your thing, just grab the guitar and just start going, which I think not a lot of people always have that ability to do that, but you have that ability to do that, which I think is really cool. That just means, it really confirms, Oscar, that you're constantly being inspired by living, by life, and what you're observing, what you're seeing, and what you're hearing, and the people around you, and the new people you meet, and the visualizations of the areas where you visit and where you go. You soak it all in, and then you turn it into music.
Yeah, for sure. I think, well, thank you as well. But I think that I something that really helped me that I started in the last couple of years is meditation and mindfulness. And I think that has really taught me to live in the moment and to experience every aspect and dimension of every experience. So going to an art gallery has almost become a deeper experience through practicing mindfulness and meditation, in that I can go there and try and bring myself to total presence, and really read into what exactly I'm feeling, and the message that, this experience is giving me, So,
Absolutely. Hearts and hearts. You've won over Holland. Hearts and hearts in the Netherlands from Willie. Kathy Short, same thing. Hearts and claps. Thank you so much. Christine says, thank you for a wonderful show, Oscar. You definitely have an old soul and you have your own style and sound. Enjoyed your songs. Keep singing and playing. Wishing you only great success to continue, as she watches on Jim Masters TV on YouTube. And that's what I say too, my friend. Wishing you nothing but all the blessings of life and just continued success and everything you're doing, of course, with wrapping up with school, studying Spanish and sociology too, which I think is really cool. And then continue to create all this really great music and this cool positive vibe that you have, which is awesome, Oscar. And as we see with these comments still coming in, so true, Bernadette, follow your heart. And Priscilla Sarah, who is new to our show, she joined us last night for the first time. She's in New York City. She says thank you as well.
thank you. Yeah.
Do you have anything on the bucket list? Are there places where you would love, like dream places where you would like to perform? Are there people that you've dreamed of having a duet with, or any of that when you look forward?
I think places I'd like to perform. I mean, in Ireland, it doesn't get much bigger than maybe playing the 3 Arena, which is a big arena here. It's in Dublin City. We ran past it the other night at night, and it was all lit up, and I was like, one day, you know what I mean? So that's a real dream. In terms of other places, I mean, I'd love to do a big open air concert. It doesn't matter where. Like, I played a festival on the main stage, but I was the first act of the day. It was quite quiet, but I think something I'd love to tick off the bucket list is to stand on a stage with however many people filling a field in front of me on a sunny day, and to just be on stage and have a beer and play my music, and hopefully bring people together for one big sing song would be, I could die a happy man after that. So.
I tell you, the world can use more of that. And I think the timing of what you're doing is perfect, Oscar. And a lot of people got a chance here on the show live on our series, the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, Jim Master Show Live. But also a lot of people are going to see this as they binge watch our episodes on the YouTube channel. They'll watch this later and they'll be continually introduced to the conversation and the music and everything. Thanks, Jim, for bringing Oscar to us today. It's been an amazing show. Thank you very much, Sherry. Adios from Willie. And wishing you continued success. Follow your heart and you will go far, from Nan Milligan, watching on YouTube as well. Good stuff. Everybody wants to see more and hear more from you, Oscar. So I'm sure even in these times where you're not able to necessarily get out there and be on a stage and hearing all of that, you're hearing some of it expressed here on our series, which hopefully continues to fill you up with that energy to continue doing what you do so well.
For sure. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a real pleasure. And thanks to everyone for tuning in. If anyone wants to keep in touch, they can get me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm always.
And a website too, right? You have a website?
Yeah, OscarBlueMusic.com. We're working on that, but there's a few bits on there right now. So please do keep in touch. I'm always responsive on social media, and I really, really appreciate any support that people are throwing my way. So just thank you to everybody, and thank you to you, Jim, for having me on.
My pleasure, and you're welcome back anytime, my friend. It really was a pleasure. And Willie, be a Guinness in Ireland, but in Netherlands now, Heineken. Now it's time for the Heineken. I was on a TV shoot there last year and the year before in the Netherlands, and Heineken is big there. I remember when we were in college. We would go to the Rathskeller. The Rathskeller is, I think it's a German word for like pub or beer, pub or like bar or whatever that was in the school at the college. And after playing sports or whatever we were doing, we would have beer or something. And we thought that we were cool, not because we were having like a Budweiser or one of the American ones. We thought we were stepping up because we were having an imported beer, which was a Heineken, which now in America, it's like It's, it's basic. It's just there. But it was just so funny that it was like, wow, we're having an imported beer and it's a Heineken.
Yeah.
So that we thought we were big, big
Yeah.
time. It was funny. Hey, speaking of which, want to toast you. We always toast our guests.
I've got my
So
water.
cheers to you, and an awesome afternoon or evening for you, my friend.
Mhm.
Thanks for spending all this time with us. You're welcome back on the show anytime. Hope you spread the word. We'll continue spreading the word about you. And I wish you all the best. You stay healthy, you stay well. And thanks to the guys, too, for keeping silent. We appreciate that.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Cheers and sláinte. Good way to end. Cheers, Jim and Oscar from Christine. All right, my friend, you take care. You have a good night. Thanks for all this time. And we did about 2 hours and 17 minutes. Didn't seem that long, right? It just goes by fast.
Yeah, it flies when you're having fun. So
it does. Right. Exactly. Well, you take care and you be well. All right.
I will. You too. All right.
Cheers, Oscar. Bye-bye now. Amazing guest, right? Wasn't it awesome to have him here on the show? Cheers and claps from Willie. Willie is just happy that it's also not 3 a.m. where she is in the Netherlands like it normally would be. Our show is normally on 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But today we did it earlier because Oscar is in Ireland there. So we wanted to do it earlier for him as well, because now it's, 20 after 10 where he is now, p.m. And what great buddies he's got. He was actually doing that from his college dormitory at Trinity College there at the university in Dublin, Ireland. So he's in his dorm room. He was performing, doing the conversation, being a guest on the show from his dorm room at the university. So there are 5 other lads there who are his dorm mates, his roommates. And they were... I don't know what he did to convince them. I said, he's got a lot of power. They listened, which was really cool. So if you're still watching, thank you. You really helped Oscar to have a good, cool show here, and appreciate Oscar's openness, his authenticity. His music is real. His music is got a really cool vibe to it, but it has an old school sensibility, which I think is refreshing. And good stuff. And thanks again. My pleasure for bringing Oscar to us with a great show. Mary, you are very welcome. And clapping from Willie as well. You are glad. I know. He was great. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure, Kathleen. Cheers, Jim and Oscar. Thank you, Christine, as well. And now he has to buy pints for his dorm mates. It could get a little costly, but he was awesome. And I'm glad to maybe introduce you to him for the very first time. We also had a world premiere exclusive on the show. He debuted a song that's not even out necessarily yet in an acoustic form, the way he did it there on the spot for us. Great afternoon show. Thank you, Jim. Enjoy your evening. You as well. Yeah, it's a little early here. It's only 5:22 p.m. Eastern, so we still have the whole night ahead of us. And it's a big day here in the United States. A lot of news going on, a lot of things happening here in the United States. And I know the world, we've been hearing from the world as well. Wherever you are around the world, we thank you very much for joining us too. And it's a blessing to have you guys here. We thank our very special guest, again, live and direct from Dublin, Ireland, Oscar Blue. Real talent, great guy, great performer. It was exclusive to have him here on the show, and it was awesome. And again, when he found out about our show, he hopped on right away. He said, I want to be a part of this. That's Silhouettes, too. You can hear that on YouTube and everywhere else. And again, it was really cool having him on. Sober for You as well is the other one. We went back in time a little bit, too, which was kind of cool. If you missed anything, you can watch it all again on our YouTube channel. Really going back in time, right? I think you love that. And then when he was in New York, of course, performing too, in New York City. And of course, then he'll be back as well. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. That's what it's all about. I love to provide entertainment, information, knowledge building, education, positivity, good times, lots of fun here on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. That's what we do all the time. If you're with us for the first time, we welcome you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We would love that. Share the channel, share the show. There's 26 to almost 27 weeks of episodes, all there for you to enjoy. We're here in the United States of America in the greater New York area between New York and Boston. That's where the show comes from. And we welcome all of you. Priscilla on Instagram as well. You can find me also on Instagram. At Jim Masters TV. Jim Masters TV is where you can find me as well. And again, if you missed an episode, everything is on YouTube there for you, which we love sharing. And here's some of the other places where you can find me as well: Instagram and Twitter and Periscope and Twitch, all at Jim Masters TV. We were on YouTube today at Jim Masters TV and also on Twitch. We welcome everybody watching on Twitch as well. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube exclusively. And we're going to have former NFL cheerleader Jennifer Cobb. She's with this incredible charity, Team Gateway to the Cure. Team Gateway to a Cure is a wonderful charity that finds funding for Parkinson's disease research and treatment. She's got a beautiful story to tell about how Parkinson's disease has affected her family. And it's a very beautiful story. She's also going to talk about her career as a former National Football League cheerleader for a long time with the St. Louis Rams football team here in the United States. She's our exclusive guest. We're going to have an amazing conversation. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific tomorrow. That's Sunday here on the show. Monday, prolific Tony-winning Broadway producer and so much more, actress Jamie Roy is going to be with us here exclusively on the show. Tuesday, actor, television, film, commercials, and more, John L. Peacock is going to be with us here. Then from television, from the CBS series One Day at a Time, child actor, we're talking about Glenn Scarpelli is going to be with us this Wednesday exclusively. Of course, he's an actor, he's a singer. He also owns a TV station in Sedona, Arizona. Here he is today. That picture you saw was when he was a kid. Next Sunday, a week from tomorrow, the one and only Phil Coulter. He is extraordinary. Musician, songwriter, multi-platinum winning record producer. He's going to be on November 15th with us exclusively here on the show. Good friend Darren Holden, live and direct from Ireland, is going to be joining us as well in December. Darren, he was with Riverdance, but he's also with the High Kings, great group, and has a brilliant solo career as well. So he's going to be with us as well coming up, and so many more guests from all different backgrounds, not just music, not just TV, not just film, not just performance. We have chefs coming on, we have authors, we have a whole host of great people, comedian and everyday people, and we have you. And that's what counts most. We can have all this fanfare and all the lights and shows and colors, but it's me and it's you. And then all the rest is the extra, all the content, the entertainment, and all the rest. So Bernadette, thank you very much. Here on the East Coast of the United States, it's about dinner time. Good night, Jim. Good night, Lovely. Stay safe and stay well. God bless you too, Bernadette. Thanks for being with us on the YouTube channel. Spread the word. You've been fantastic. Several of you have been really good at telling your friends and family and others about the show and sharing the levity, because this is really unique. Even on the internet, this show is quite unique. We're so viewer-centric, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I just thanked you on Instagram as well. Good lad, very humble. Yes, Oscar is. Have a great night, Jim. Good night, all. You as well, Kathleen, from Juanita in beautiful South Africa. Great show again, Jim. Oscar's an amazing young man. Have a great day further, and good night, everyone. You too. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel right here at Jim Masters TV. Have a good night, Jim and lovelies. Be safe and well. You too, Mary. Mary Brandenburg, you missed the beginning of the show with Oscar, so we'll be watching it later with such a talented young man. That's great, Mary. We appreciate that, watching it in the archives. That's where all the shows are saved, and YouTube archived there at Jim Masters TV. You're very welcome. You as well, Bernadette. Thank you, Willie. Dinner time as well, Priscilla. I know you're in New York, so we're not far from each other. We're very close by. It is dinner time where we are. My stomach is rumbling. We work hard behind the scenes on all of these shows, putting them together for you. Don't forget to smile, everybody, and share your smile. Don't forget to share the lovity, as I always say, all around the world, and find your Zen place, whatever that may be. Mine is, of course, with loving friends and family and colleagues and buddies. Also, it's when involved with music, as well as when I'm on my cycling along the coast, swimming in the ocean, all of it. So there's a shot in the ocean there, and the ocean speaks to me boldly. So good stuff. Thanks for the smiles. Yes, Roy Buckley is going to be coming on the show as well next month. Roy Buckley, another brilliant, very popular Irish performer. Roy Buckley's coming on the show. Phil Coulter's coming on the show. Darren Holden's coming on the show. And a lot more. We've got some really cool. George Hutton is going to be moved to, I think, January. He's had something happen within his family. So he's going to be moved to, I think, January. George Hutton, he was going to be coming on. We're working on that. We'll give you an update on that. We were going to have him this weekend, but he's being moved to later time. Some things happening in his life that we're just going to move it a little bit later so he has time to prepare and all. So trying to think of who else. Corner Boy, as far as the Irish artists, because we have a lot more. The group Corner Boy is going to be on soon in December. Keith Harkin's coming on too, originally from Celtic Thunder. He's got his own solo career, and he's going to be live. He's from Ireland, of course, originally, but he's I met him when I interviewed him on public television. He's a great guy, and that's back when he was with Celtic Thunder. He will be live from Portugal. He's actually touring Europe right now in his way, I think in like a van with his wife and child, sort of thing, playing different gigs, Keith. So he's going to be coming on, I believe, in December as well. And there's some others. We're talking to Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley, and Melissa Manchester, the great singer, and a lot of other. Everybody is, no matter what they do, we love all of our guests. And yes, and Emmett O'Hanlon is coming on as well. Emmett is coming on, I believe it's Friday, the 11th of December. He's another great friend, and I've known him for years. Emmett O'Hanlon's an incredible singer. His family's from Ireland, but he's actually originally from New York, from Long Island. His mother has a restaurant in New York City. I've been to it. He's really a cool guy. After he left Celtic Thunder, he had a wonderful opportunity to sing with the Lyric Opera in Chicago. And then recently he was in Germany performing. Germany went on lockdown. So he's back in the States, or coming back to the United States. And we would get together actually personally at his mom's restaurant in New York, but with everything going on, we can't. But he's going to be a guest on our show, and he's going to knock it out of the park. He's all excited. He'll be here on that Friday, December 11th. Paulette McWilliams, who was a guest of ours a few weeks back, we had an incredible time with her. She did it sort of like a mini concert. She's going to be with us on Friday, December 18th for a mini Christmas concert here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. So, yeah, we've got a lot of cool things that are coming up, just to name a few. But tomorrow, former NFL cheerleader Jennifer Cobb from the St. Louis Rams is going to be with us, and Team Gateway for a cure for Parkinson's disease and a lot more. She's going to be here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube, on our YouTube channel right here at Jim Masters TV. You're very welcome, Christine. My pleasure. We'll see you at 7. Continue to spread the word like all of you guys do. Trying to think if there's anybody else. I know I mentioned Roy Buckley and Corner Boy and a few others. They're all posted on our Facebook page, and they're also on our YouTube channel as well. And for those of you, you're on YouTube right now as well. So, and you went to high school by Emmett's childhood home, right? That's in New York on Long Island, right? I believe. You grew up with Emmett O'Hanlon. And yes, Keith is in his van with his wife and toddler. Yeah, and they're going to be in Portugal, I believe, when they come on the show. So we're looking forward to that. As well, don't forget, we always say to relax, take care of one another, love one another, take care of yourself. It's all about inspiration and positivity. Don't let any negativity get you down. There's a lot of people that will try to drag you down, be negative. There's a lot of people that are divisive. You don't always have to pick a side. Unification and healing is very important. Don't always have to get into this side versus that side. I've never been like that anyway. I'm somebody who likes to bring people together. We're not always going to agree on this, not always going to agree on that. But if the world continues operating that way, where everybody thinks just that way and those people just think that way, nothing's going to happen. It's going to get worse. Look at the way the world is now. So relax, breathe, collaborate, create, and try to come together. All your friends are here. Yes, the legendary comedian George Burns is here. I know you love George, and Gilligan is here as well from the TV series Gilligan's Island. You guys love. And of course, Jeannie, who's in the bottle, is here as well. And all the rest. Lin the Panda, all here. We're going to wrap up dinner time here. 2 hours and 32 minutes. 2 hours and 32 minutes. Wow. Good stuff, gang. Lots of Irish crack on this Irish-themed episode. Pandas and all kinds of, Manhasset, Long Island, yes. On the North Shore, I know it well. All right, gang. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, once again, we thank our very special guest, Irish singer, songwriter, musician Oscar Blue, for joining us here exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. And we thank all of you for joining us on the show. Again, continue to smile, be you, live you, be the best you can be. And we'll be here tomorrow. As long as you guys are here, we'll continue to provide the levity, the light, the good times, great guests, and more on this show that continues to grow. We're going into 27 weeks, which is unbelievable. And over 100 and almost 180 plus shows. It's unreal. Day after day after day. Wow. Amazing. Stay safe. Be well. You too, Kathleen. And tell everybody who looks for us on Facebook, maybe people you know, to find us here on YouTube at Jim Masters TV as well. Some of the shows we do exclusively on YouTube. So make sure you let them know we're on YouTube. And thanks to all of you who've been joining us on YouTube as well. We really appreciate that. You've been able to comment. You've been able to be a part of it. Bye, Juanita. We love you, Juanita, in South Africa, and Carla in Brazil, and everybody else, Willie in the Netherlands. All right, gang. You be well. You take care. We will see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Have a good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.